Recently, Supreme Master Ching Hai graciously allowed our association members to gather for an international seminar. It was a joyous occasion as Master and disciples reunited to meditate and pray for peace. During this precious time, Supreme Master Ching Hai also spoke of the teachings of past masters and answered the spiritual questions of our association members. The following is the continuation of a story of an Indian saint told by Supreme Master Ching Hai with the theme, God is Always Inside, which took place on August 26, 2008 during the International Seminar.
There was a great renowned saint, a lady saint. Her name is Rabia. She was very beautiful when she was a young girl. And because of her beauty, she was at one time abducted by thieves who sold her to the owner of a house of prostitution, where she was expected to do as every other woman living in that same house. So many poor young girls has been forced into such a situation which they feel regretful all their life later, and sometimes even harmful to their health and their soul and their spirit and everything, make them lose their confidence, their virtue and everything. It's a bad house. Most women, they don't enter there by choice, just circumstances. Maybe during the war, have no money, or some accident happened, a family run down, or somebody forced them into it or kidnapped and then put them into some strange country. They had no means to go out, or they don't know anything else what to do. And then sometimes they even force them to have drug and all that. They become addicted and they have to continue to feed the addiction as well. You saw some of them in some films. It's really pitiful. So please, if you see such a girl in such situation, do not make her feel worse by looking down upon her or saying things that are hurtful to her. She is still a woman inside, very respectful, and still has Buddha nature in there, and God is still in there. And so, you heard the story that Jesus has forgiven one prostitute. So as the days passed by, as we expected, many other men were brought to Rabia's room, and one and all were changed, as she had changed the first one. The tradition continued. She changed one man after another. So it was only natural that the ruffian who owned the house soon began to notice and wonder, how is it that whoever visits this girl once never returns? The owner of the brothel was puzzled and said to himself like that. And he kept thinking, she is so young and beautiful that the men should hover around her like moths around a flame. But how come they never came back? So, in order to try to solve the mystery, the wife of the brothel owner one night hid herself in a place where she could see into Rabia's apartment and discover how she treated those who were taken into it. Good evening, friend, and welcome. Rabia began as soon as the man was shown to her room. Here in this evil house, I always remember God. And God is omnipresent. It is an excellent idea. Don't you agree that we should remember God? And that God is omnipresent? So the man, utterly surprised at such an approach, of course has to agree with her and saying that, yes, we were taught that by the priests. So he has to admit that God is omnipresent everywhere. So she continued, here, surrounded by evil, I never forget that he sees all evil done and metes out even justice. Oh, how many who enter this house for a moment of so-called pleasure go through indescribable agony and suffering in God's hell because of it. You too may do the same if you wish to. But friend, the human form was bestowed upon us to enable us to meditate and realize God, and not to waste the precious gift in acting even lower than the animals. Or the animals, when they have each other as partner, they respect each other and in love, and they stay with each other, but they don't do this sort of thing. This man had had so many others, saw at once the truth of Rabia's words. Realizing for the first time the enormity of the sin that he had in his mind, he fell prostrate at Rabia's feet and, weeping bitterly, begged for her forgiveness. Should do. A woman's body is also a temple of God. One should not trade it for anything, least of all the money. Selling, buying like an object. That is not the way we should treat each other. That's not the way of a gentleman. It's not the way of a human at all. This is really below animal standard. She's right, yes. Rabia's words were so sincere and persuasive, indeed, that even the hardened brother's owner's wife came out of her hiding and began to weep for the many sins she had committed. Now, we must know that is not just the words that had been spoken by this saintly woman, but it's because of her saintly quality.